Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love to the author and me. On to the show.
It can't hurt the Hyperion at all. The Hyperion is really too heaven-defying. Their energy shells and energy ray weapons couldn't hit the Hyperion's shield at all. Not good. It can resist our attack. Our attack has no effect on it at all. The chief prosecutor exclaimed. Unexpectedly, it was unable to attack the energy defense cover of the Hyperion. This situation was completely unexpected, which made it impossible for them to stop it. Su Yan saw that the chief controllers of the interstellar warships all looked a little panic-stricken, with a sneering sneer on his face. Humph, it's really overpowering. If you want to kill me, you don't even weigh yourself. The Hyperion is much more advanced than your interstellar warships. The Hyperion is not afraid of any of your energy weapons at all. The defense system of the Hyperion is immune to any energy weapons, energy shells and energy ray weapons. No matter how powerful your energy shells and energy ray weapons are, they are useless. Su Yan continued to laugh. Hearing Su Yan's words, the chief controllers of the starship battleship couldn't help but feel powerless. Their energy weapons and energy ray cannonballs are indeed powerful, and their attack power is also very powerful. They can even attack ordinary stars or a spaceship, but the Hyperion is basically a supergiant aircraft carrier level spaceship. How could their attack hurt them? This also makes them very depressed. After all, this is their most powerful attack method, but it has no effect on the Hyperion now. What should we do? The energy defense shields and energy ray weapons of this interstellar warship can't break them at all. Even if we can break them, our damage will be very serious. An interstellar warship's chief controller asked. No matter how powerful their attacks are, I believe that we will always find a way to crack their energy shields. Leader Dao was also very nervous, but he still remained calm, because he believes that the interstellar warship will definitely be able to break through the defensive cover of the Hyperion. He does not believe that this defense system can defend against all attacks. The chief prosecutors also nodded. They also all hoped for this matter, but they thought too much, because the Hyperion can indeed only defend against attacks, but for other energy attacks, the defense system is useless, and it is not enough to cause any threat to them. At this time, another 100 interstellar warships launched an attack on the Hyperion. The attacks of these battleships are all energy weapons and energy shells. Their attacks were all concentrated on the surface of the energy defense shields, but these energy defense shields did not respond at all, nor were they attacked. Their attack was like a mud cow entering the sea, disappearing without a trace. The attacks of these interstellar battleships did not have any impact on the Hyperion. This is how the same thing. How could there be nothing wrong with the Hyperion? Could it be that the Hyperion has reached a defense system beyond the star level? The chief controllers of these interstellar battleships were all shocked. They have never heard that someone's defense system can reach such a height. At this time, Su Yan was already too lazy to talk to the chief controllers of these interstellar warships. He directly controlled the energy shield and protection system of the Hyperion and started to attack. Bang, bang. Immediately, the Hyperion began to attack the energy shields and protection systems of these interstellar warships. Their attacks simply cannot penetrate energy shields and energy ray weapons, but Hyperion's energy shield and energy ray weapons produced fluctuations on their energy defense shields. These fluctuations made their energy shields unstable. At this time, the Hyperion directly attacked an interstellar warship. Boom, boom. Several energy rays burst out instantly on the Hyperion. The speed of these energy rays was very fast, and they flew towards the interstellar battleship in a blink of an eye. Rumble. There was a loud noise, and the interstellar warship turned into a ball of flames directly under the attack of this energy and exploded instantly. At this time, the remaining space warriors on the spaceship also ran away one after another. They didn't want to be hit by the energy attack from the Hyperion. No. Hurry up, leave now. The Hyperion is too scary. Our energy shields and defensive shields can't stop them at all. Retreat quickly, retreat. The chief prosecutors of the interstellar warships all lied and shouted. They also know that staying here is really dangerous. It's not that easy to go. Su Yan controls the Hyperion. The energy defense cover spread out immediately, covering the chief controllers of this group of interstellar warships. 0. Afterwards, the energy shield and defense cover of the Hyperion quickly shrank, wrapping up those interstellar warship controllers. The chief controllers of the interstellar warships also yelled, "Damn, what's going on? Why are we trapped in the energy shield?" A smile appeared on the corner of Su Yan's mouth. Just now he left an energy attack on the chief prosecutor. In just a few seconds, this energy attack can completely destroy this interstellar warship. My energy shield has been breached. Get out of here quickly. This guy is really amazing. Let's get out of here. this guy is a lunatic. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships screamed in horror, while desperately trying to get out of this energy defense shield. But they found that this energy defense shield is very strong, and they have no way to break this defense shield at all. This defensive cover seems to be unbreakable. Even their attacks can't cause any damage to this defensive shield. It can only be absorbed by the energy defensive shield. The smile on Su Yan's face became more and more obvious. Want to go? How can it be so easy? Boom. Su Yan was manning the Hyperion, and the wolf's ram hit a starship. Immediately, the interstellar warship turned into a piece of powder. What? The Hyperion is so scary. The chief controller of the interstellar warship exclaimed, Sergeant. This interstellar warship has a load of more than 30 million tons. Such a huge volume, in front of Su Yan's energy weapon, is as fragile as a block of tofu. Damn it, run away quickly. The chief controllers of the interstellar warship also screamed, and fled the interstellar warship, wanting to leave the Hyperion. Their ideas are beautiful, but their luck didn't seem to be good, because Yan didn't mean to let them go. The energy shield of the Hyperion began to press towards the controllers of these interstellar warships. The chief controllers of the interstellar warships released attacks one after another to the Hyperion. Boom, boom. The energy shocks again and again fell on the energy shield of the Hyperion, but it was of no avail at all. But their 733 attack also brought trouble to the Hyperion. Energy shocks one after another fell on the energy defense cover of the Hyperion, causing fluctuations in the energy defense cover, but their attacks still had no effect on the Hyperion. Although the Hyperion's energy defense shield was constantly shaken by the attacks, it showed no sign of collapse. This stunned the chief prosecutors of the interstellar battleship. How is it possible? This is impossible. The Hyperion is actually able to resist our energy attack. How on earth is this done? Damn it, is he a demon? How could he have such a powerful strength? The chief controller of a star warship exclaimed. On the Hyperion, Su Yan said flatly, the defense system of the Hyperion is not something you can break through. This sentence immediately attracted the scolding of the chief prosecutors of these interstellar warships. Bastard. Are you insulting the technology of our interstellar warships? You despicable and shameless clown. We will not let you go. They are all the chief controllers of interstellar warships, and they are all extremely proud and conceited characters. Now being ridiculed by Su Yan like this, they are naturally very angry. The energy shield of the Hyperion is not something they can easily break through. Even their strongest attack cannot be destroyed in a short time. They did not dare to act rashly. The Hyperion is really too powerful. If they rashly attack the Hyperion, they will be strangled by the energy shield before the Hyperion can attack them. They don't want to die like this. Su Yan smiled slightly and said, I didn't insult your technology, but your technology level is really too bad. You can't crack my energy shield at all. Su Yan doesn't know the true strength of the controllers of these interstellar warships. He believes that the controllers of these interstellar warships have barely reached the current state by relying on technological means, and they are still in such a long time. In the years, without getting too much exercise, the group has grown to such a practical experience. Such a situation is extremely rare among interstellar warships. After all, it is not easy for them to reach the current level. The controllers of these interstellar warships, they are not the only interstellar warship team in the entire universe. Their federation. In this universe, there are two other federations. They are the three federations of this federation, and they all have battleships of certain strength. They also all know the threat of these interstellar warships. If these interstellar warships really all attack this planet, then the entire planet will instantly fall and become the belly of these interstellar warships. Therefore, the chief controllers of these interstellar warships are doing their best to improve the technological level of this federation. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships all know the horror of the Hyperion. The Hyperion is their nemesis, so they all ran away desperately, trying to escape from this planet. Boom. The shell of the Hyperion landed on the controller of a star warship again. The chief controller of the interstellar battleship was blown out of his head and fell directly. The defense power of this starship warship is really too bad. Even a single attack of the energy defense cover can't resist it. I really don't know what the master controllers of these starship battleships do, Su Yan said. This interstellar warship is indeed very rubbish. In front of the Hyperion's energy shield, the controller of the interstellar warship couldn't stop the Hyperion's energy attack at all. The chief prosecutors on the Hyperion were all killed by Su Yan. The remaining interstellar warship controllers also dare not continue to attack, because in the attack just now, they already knew the strength of the Hyperion. No matter how powerful their energy defense shields are, they cannot have any impact on the Hyperion. Moreover, the defensive cover of the Hyperion is also very difficult to break through. Even if they use the strongest energy defense cannon, they cannot penetrate the defensive cover of the Hyperion. They could only watch the Hyperion pass by in front of them. I am not reconciled. How could the energy defense cover of our interstellar warship fail to break through such a defense? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Their hearts are full of resentment. Su Yan sneered and said, in this universe, there is nothing that cannot be deciphered. The Hyperion's attack speed was extremely fast, catching up to several other interstellar warships in an instant. His shells fell again. This time, the Hyperion did not choose to attack those interstellar warships, but launched an attack on one interstellar warship. Boom! The Hyperion's artillery fire instantly shattered the interstellar warship. Afterwards, the Hyperion continued to gallop towards several other interstellar warships. One after another, 3.7 starships were wiped out. The Hyperion, like a titan, sweeps everything in this universe, and no one can stop it. The Hyperion, like an invincible existence, is destroying star warships one after another. The Hyperion's attack was so fast that these interstellar battleships had no way to react. The Hyperion's attack didn't have any rules at all. It was as if countless rays of light passed by, and a star warship was destroyed or smashed to pieces. These interstellar warships did not dare to resist the attack of the Hyperion, and were destroyed one after another. In just 10 minutes or so, 700 or 800 interstellar warships were already missing. These 700 or 800 interstellar warships are the main force of the interstellar warship group and the core of the interstellar warship. Now they are easily destroyed by the Hyperion, which makes them feel very distressed. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships roared angrily and issued orders to let the warships under their command start a counterattack immediately. In front of the Hyperion, they had no choice but to catch them without a fight. Su Yan, stop for me. Su Yan, don't mess around. Su Yan, did you hear that? Their voices reached Su Yan's ears, causing the intelligence system of the Hyperion to fire more intensive shells to drown out these roaring voices. The shelling of the Hyperion came one after another, with no intention of stopping at all. The Hyperion, like a ruthless robot, would not stand still. Moreover, the Hyperion's shells were fired at a terrifying speed, leaving traces in the air, forming thin lines. On this thin line, there is terrifying energy. The hearts of the controllers of these interstellar warships are about to stop beating. They keep praying that the 23 Hyperion will stop attacking, but their prayers are useless. The artillery fire from the Hyperion became more and more intense, and their starships became riddled with holes. This ship is horrible. This is simply a monster. How could they have such a weapon? Their weapons are beyond what we can imagine. Let's retreat now. No, we cannot retreat. We must hold on. No. Our interstellar warships have already suffered heavy losses, and we cannot continue to fight at all. We can only wait for rescue. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships all panicked, and they all yelled. The Hyperion's attack was so fierce that it was impossible for them to defeat the Hyperion. Therefore, the chief controllers of these interstellar warships have already had the idea of retreating, and they are unwilling to continue fighting. They would rather give up their warships than be swallowed by the Hyperion. Deep in their hearts, they all had the idea of retreating. In this universe, there are many other interstellar warships. Although their warships are not as good as the Hyperion, they are almost the same. They also have extremely powerful attack capabilities. Their interstellar warships also have high attack power, and even many interstellar warships have attack capabilities that surpass ordinary interstellar warships. However, in front of the Hyperion, the attacks of these interstellar warships have all become scum. The Hyperion is like a killing machine. It is ruthlessly harvesting their lives, making them helpless in front of the Hyperion. Like paper rats, being killed by the Hyperion, the number was slaughtered. Under the attack of the Hyperion, all the interstellar warships in this starfield were wiped out. The Hyperion floated in the void of the universe again, and one after another, the interstellar warships were destroyed. These interstellar warships were all swallowed up by the Hyperion. This scene shocked all the beings in this universe, and caused their minds to be greatly shocked, making them tremble uncontrollably. The Hyperion's attack was really too ferocious, which made these beings afraid, fearing that the Hyperion would attack them. Damn, where did it come from? We didn't even see his figure, and we were already defeated by him. It's really scary. If this is the case, our universe will be completely destroyed. No, absolutely not. We must not sit still. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships were horrified. At this moment, they finally understood how powerful the Hyperion was. We must escape from this universe, otherwise, we will be completely destroyed. Escape from this universe, no matter what. We cannot stay in this universe. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships all roared in panic. They have seen their future, and their hearts are full of despair. The Hyperion, like a gigantic monster, oppressed them and they couldn't breathe. They knew that they couldn't avoid it no matter what. The best way is to leave this universe. Go to other universes, seek a broader stage, find a new platform, and start life again. Their goal is very clear, which is to go to other universes to seek a better living environment. The master controllers of these interstellar battleships all issued orders one after another to completely destroy this universe. They don't want their interstellar warships to stay in place forever and never be able to leave this universe. This was their decision. The chief controllers of these interstellar warships all launched an attack and attacked the Hyperion, hoping to completely wipe out the Hyperion. Their attack did not cause the slightest damage to the Hyperion at all. The Hyperion is still frantically crushing their starships. These interstellar warship master controllers, all 990, closed their eyes in despair, waiting for death. They are already ready to sacrifice. They no longer have extravagant hopes. They don't have extravagant hopes to escape from this universe. They just want to protect their warships. Rumbling tilde. The Hyperion frantically crushed the interstellar warships of the master controllers of these interstellar warships, leaving huge craters on their interstellar warships. The interstellar warship controllers in front of the Hyperion all closed their eyes, waiting for death to come. At this time, Suyen was also leading the Hyperion, heading forward. The danger of this universe has been solved by the Hyperion. Now they are looking for other interstellar warships to destroy these interstellar warships and to eliminate all enemies in this universe. Su Yan steered the Hyperion to the next destination. The Hyperion is very fast. Along the way, they traveled at the speed of light, and in the blink of an eye, the Hyperion covered a distance of hundreds of millions of kilometers. With such a short distance in front of the Hyperion, it is as if it does not exist. The Hyperion is the only ruler in this interstellar space. Wherever the Hyperion passed, countless interstellar warships were all reduced to ashes. Suddenly, on a huge meteorite next to the Hyperion, a small silver flying saucer appeared, and they quickly approached the Hyperion. A small silver flying saucer is approaching the Hyperion. All the brains on the Hyperion immediately noticed this small silver flying saucer. They were all very curious. Where did this small silver flying saucer come from? At this moment, another small silver flying saucer appeared on the outside of the Hyperion. Its volume was the same as that of the small silver flying saucer, only the size of a palm. They were constantly rotating around the Hyperion, trying to close to the Hyperion. The brains on the Hyperion were astonished throughout Beijing. What is this? Could it be the enemy's spy? The enemy is in the dark, but we don't know where the opponent is. This feeling is so depressing. We can no longer sit still like this. We must take the initiative to attack and destroy this universe, and we cannot let any interstellar battleship escape. WWW. The brains of these interstellar warships roared angrily. The speed of the Hyperion was very fast, and after a few seconds, the Hyperion had already caught up with the second small silver flying saucer. These 28 small silver flying saucers are all top technological products in the galaxy. They all have extremely strong defensive power, and the main guns of the Hyperion can't penetrate their defenses at all. The speed of the small silver flying saucer is very fast, traveling thousands of miles in an instant. Although the Hyperion has powerful attack capabilities, it cannot catch up with the small silver flying saucer. What's going on here? Why do these small silver flying saucers appear in this universe? Su Yan said in amazement. The defensive power of these small silver flying saucers is really too strong. Even the Hyperion's attack can't break them. All the interstellar warships in this universe have been wiped out, and now there are still these small flying saucers. They must have been sent by the enemy to stop us. Su Yan frowned. The Hyperion is the most powerful warship in the entire interstellar world. These small flying saucers are the highest level war fortresses of interstellar warships, and their attack capabilities are much stronger than those of the Hyperion. The Hyperion's attack was unable to destroy these small flying saucers. These small silver flying saucers are obviously technological products from another universe. No, these small silver flying saucers must be cleaned up first, Su Yan said. The Hyperion began attacking the small silvery saucers. The main gun of the Hyperion also bombarded these small silver flying saucers. These small silver flying saucers also launched a counterattack, but they did not cause much damage to the Hyperion. On the contrary, they were torn apart by the attack of the Hyperion, turning into silver fragments all over the sky. The attack power of the Hyperion is terrifying. The threat of the Hyperion has been completely eliminated, and the next thing is to sail forward slowly. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and continued to fly forward. This time, their speed did not reach the fastest, but their speed was much faster than before. That's why Su Yan agreed to let Su Yan drive this and to continue sailing. The Hyperion has already fully grasped the operation rules of the spacecraft, as long as it follows Su Yan's guidance. The Hyperion does not have to worry about getting lost in the air. The Hyperion is the strongest and largest warship in the entire galaxy. The combat power of the Hyperion is stronger than that of ordinary spaceships. Even if you encounter a super powerful space battleship, the Hyperion, you can easily destroy these space battleships. Su Yan concentrated and carefully studied the situation ahead. There are a lot of small silver flying saucers, but these small silver flying saucers can't pose too much threat to the Hyperion. Where did this small silver flying saucer come from? Could it be a group of small flying saucers united together? Su Yan guessed in his heart. Small silver flying saucers are very common technological products in the universe, but this technological product is very special. Once the owner of this technological product launches a nuclear warhead, its technological level will be raised to a higher level. Even the dominant civilization in the interstellar world would not dare to provoke nuclear weapons, because the deterrent effect of nuclear weapons is too powerful. As long as this nuclear weapon is thrown out casually, it is enough to destroy a planet. Suddenly, a small silver flying saucer fired at the main gun of the Hyperion. A torrent of metal spewed out from the muzzle of the Hyperion's main gun, resisting the gunfire of this small silver flying saucer. This torrent of metal bombarded the small silver flying saucer again, killing the small silver flying saucer into pieces. Amazing! It was able to withstand the fire of the main gun. Amazing! These interstellar civilizations were all scared to death. In their view, the combat power of this interstellar warship is simply unparalleled. But now, the attack power of this warship is actually blocked by this small silver flying saucer. How powerful are the technological strengths of these small silver flying saucers? Su Yan was also taken aback. This interstellar battleship is really extraordinary. It can resist the attack of the main gun, and it can also resist the artillery fire of the Hyperion. In this case, wouldn't the Hyperion need not be afraid of other interstellar warships? Thinking of this, Su Yan immediately ordered the Hyperion to attack these small silver flying saucers. Bang bang bang. There was a loud bang, ManhwaRecap sound, and the main gun of the Hyperion attacked, continuously bombarding these small silver flying saucers. The silver small flying saucer was not damaged at all. The Hyperion's attack couldn't hit these small silver flying saucers at all. Even if it could hit them, it would be useless, and it couldn't pose any threat to the small silver flying saucers at all. What a monster! No wonder it is so powerful. The main gun of our Hyperion didn't even work. Do these small flying saucers have some kind of special armor? Many interstellar civilizations were also attracted by this small silver flying saucer, and they talked about the situation of these small silver flying saucers. Su Yan has also seen the situation of these small silver flying saucers. These small silver flying saucers do have some kind of special armor, and they are not pure armor, but armor that can repair itself. If you want to use the Hyperion and destroy this armor, then the main gun of the Hyperion will become very weak. This is also the reason why the attacks of the Hyperion have repeatedly failed. This special armor actually has such a function. In this way, we will not be afraid of these interstellar warships. Su Yan showed an excited expression on his face. Although the Hyperion is the most powerful among the interstellar warships, the attack power of the interstellar warships is really too powerful. The combat power of the Hyperion is not considered the top among interstellar warships. On the battlefield, the Hyperion can be invincible, which is a very rare thing. This action also allowed the Hyperion to demonstrate its most powerful power. Su Yan ordered the main gun of the Hyperion to fire countless shells at the small silver flying saucers. There are so many small silver flying saucers, the Hyperion's attack cannot penetrate the defense of the small silver flying saucers at all. Although the Hyperion can withstand the attack of the main gun, this is not a long-term solution. After all, the attacks of interstellar warships are endless, and they will never end. The main gun of the Hyperion has already consumed a lot of energy. 283. The Hyperion must find supplementary energy as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the Hyperion would not be able to display its true strength. Hyperion, continue to launch energy bombs. Su Yan ordered, destroy these small flying saucers. The Hyperion continued to bombard the small silver flying saucer, but the energy reserve of the Hyperion could not be launched without limit after all. It cannot be consumed endlessly forever. However, although these small silver flying saucers can withstand the attack of the Hyperion's main gun, the Hyperion has no chance of killing them. These small silver flying saucers are just a bait. The real killer weapon has not been shot yet. The main gun of the Hyperion continued to bombard one energy bomb after another towards these small silver flying saucers, attacking frantically. Each energy bomb carries a powerful and destructive force, capable of sinking a stellar-level interstellar warship. The defense of these small silver flying saucers is also extremely powerful. They were able to withstand the Hyperion's attack, but they couldn't destroy the Hyperion. These silver small flying saucers are the main gun attack in the star warship. The main cannon of the small silver flying saucer can be repaired by itself. As long as it is repaired, their energy is still continuous, and will not be exhausted like the main gun of the Hyperion dam. What's going on here? What kind of monsters are these small flying saucers? Could it be a super monster in the universe? Are these small flying saucers made of some high-tech materials? No wonder the attacks of these starships are ineffective against them. How powerful the Hyperion is! It is ineffective against these small silver flying saucers. The size of this small silver flying saucer is relatively small, but its attack power is extremely powerful. It is even many times more powerful than the main guns of some interstellar flying saucers. In such a short period of time, several interstellar flying saucers that were destroyed by small silver flying saucers also appeared in Su Yan's fleet. Soon, new interstellar flying saucers appeared, and under the protection of these small silver flying saucers, they quickly fled the battlefield. The number of small silver flying saucers is increasing, and their combat effectiveness is gradually increasing. The main gun of the Hyperion also began to show fatigue, and the energy consumption also became huge. The main gun of the Hyperion finally stopped roaring. The Hyperion has stopped attacking. It seems that the main gun of the Hyperion has reached its limit. We must find a way to let it continue to attack. Yes, the main gun of the Hyperion can launch unlimited attacks. If we can control the Hyperion, then the Hyperion will be an extremely powerful interstellar warship. Yes, as long as we can control the Hyperion will be fearless. Keep attacking me. The Hyperion continued to attack the small silver saucers. Although the attack power of the small silver flying saucer is incomparably tyrannical, the energy reserve of the Hyperion is also limited. Soon the Hyperion's energy was completely exhausted. The Hyperion is no longer enough to deal with these small silver flying saucers. How so? How could the defense of these small silver flying saucers be so strong? Could it be that our energy reserves are not enough? My main gun is almost at its limit. How could this be? Is there something wrong with my main gun? At this time, you should find an energy or vein. A flash of light flashed in Su Yan's mind. The Limberion's energy reserve has reached its limit. Does this planet have energy mines? With a thought in his mind, Su Yan made the Hyperion turn around and head straight for the huge pyramid. The Hyperion continued to accelerate, heading towards the huge pyramid. Around the pyramid, there is an area without any life. This area is the forbidden area of the Hyperion. Su Yan knows that the Hyperion has an energy pool, but the Hyperion's energy pool is not a fixed place, and the Hyperion moves the energy pool at will. The Hyperion can enter other planets at will. The main gun of the Hyperion is an energy supplier. The energy consumed by the main gun of the Hyperion comes from the energy reserve device. But this energy storage device is not fixed in one place, and the energy storage device of the Hyperion will also move from time to time. This energy reserve device can move by itself and absorb energy automatically, but this energy reserve device is not stable. Once in danger or damaged, the energy reserve device will automatically shut down, and the Hyperion will lose the supply of energy reserve. This is a kind of energy supplier, not a movable spaceship. This is a weakness of the Hyperion, and a fatal flaw. Although the main gun of the Hyperion can be fired continuously, if the number of shots is too many, the energy reserve will be exhausted. Therefore, the main gun of the Hyperion can generally only be used for about an hour. Now, it is 3 minutes away from Suja's expected time. The Hyperion is about to close its energy reserve. In this way, the main gun of the Hyperion will become unstable, and it is very likely that it will be destroyed by the small silver flying saucer. If other main guns were destroyed by so many small silver flying saucers, then the Hyperion would explode immediately. The destruction of the Hyperion's main gun is equivalent to the loss of half of the entire fleet's combat effectiveness. Su Yan knows the horror of these small silver flying saucers, but he has no good way now. The Hyperion's speed is too slow. At this speed, it is simply impossible to catch up with these small silver flying saucers. On the Hyperion, there is no redundant energy storage device to supply the Hyperion to continue firing the main gun. The Hyperion could only choose to stop attacking, and the small silver flying saucer also stopped attacking, and the Hyperion finally got out of the tracking range of the small silver flying saucer. At this time, Su Yan's divine sense also shrouded the Hyperion, observing the Hyperion carefully. On the Hyperion, there is no energy storage device, and there is no energy vein. The energy of the Hyperion is provided by the energy reserve, but now the energy reserve of the Hyperion has also been exhausted. It seems that the Hyperion is temporarily unable to fight against those small silver flying saucers. The combat power of the Hyperion has dropped to the lowest level. Su Yan can only send a group of elite troops to attack the small silver flying saucer. These elite troops all have the strength of super space fighters. If they cooperate with the Hyperion, they may be able to win. Of course, it is not ruled out that the combat power of the Hyperion will be defeated by these small silver flying saucers after being greatly reduced. This time, the number of main guns on the Hyperion was already less than 1,000. The energy of several main guns has been exhausted, and they can only display 80% of their power. However, even if there are only 600 main guns left, Su Yan is confident that he can wipe out these small silver flying saucers. Su Yan ordered the Hyperion to return to the vicinity of the meteorite, and then asked the Hyperion to repair the energy storage device around the meteorite, and restore the energy reserve. Then Su Yan led the fleet and continued to fly towards the huge star. Su Yan's plan is to let the Hyperion enter the core space of the meteorite, and then place the Hyperion in a hidden place. In this case, those small silver flying saucers cannot harm the Hyperion. A few seconds after the Hyperion entered the meteorite space, those small silver flying saucers struck again, and attacked the Hyperion. Su Yan's fleet fired energy cannons at the moment the Hyperion was attacked, killing all those small silver flying saucers. These small silver flying saucers, although numerous, are not enough for Su Yan's fleet. It didn't help at all. Su Yan's fleet, like locusts, attacked the small flying saucers overwhelmingly. Once those small silver flying saucers are surrounded by Su Yan's fleet, they will be destroyed, and the energy reserve of the Hyperion will resume normal operation. The energy reserve can also start to do its job. Su Yan's fleet swept past all the way, and the small silver flying saucers were all wiped out. At this time, the main gun on the Hyperion had also recovered its energy, activated the energy reserve device again, and began to attack those small silver flying saucers. Under a burst of violent flames, those small silver flying saucers were completely wiped out. As soon as these small silver flying saucers were wiped out, the energy storage device on the Hyperion immediately began to recover. Su Yan knew that this kind of recovery would take at least a period of time, so Su Yan immediately ordered the Hyperion to return. The Hyperion drew a beautiful arc in the air, and then flew towards the distance. Along the way, those small silver flying saucers continued to attack Su Yan's Hyperion from all directions. The Hyperion attacked one after another, destroying those small silver flying saucers one after another. These small silver flying saucers were wiped out one by one. There were too many of them. Even though the Hyperion has a powerful fire control system, they still cannot clean up all those small silver flying saucers. Su Yan knew that he had to find someone who could make this silver flying saucer as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would have no way to deal with these small silver flying saucers. This kind of small flying saucer can wreak havoc in the universe, and it cannot be killed at all. But Su Yan believes that as long as he finds the person who made the small silver flying saucer, this small silver flying saucer will definitely disappear in this universe. The Hyperion continued to fly forward, and soon came to the outside of a planet. The surface of this planet is covered by thick clouds. Su Yan knew that this should be the base of the silver flying saucer. When the Hyperion landed in the clouds, the base had already been detected. Soon, fighter planes flew up from the clouds, and fired energy bills towards the Hyperion. These energy bombs are very destructive, and in this area, they directly blasted the clouds. Those fighter jets also fled in all directions in the clouds. The energy reserve device on the Hyperion also keeps spraying energy, constantly causing damage to the clouds, and then bombards those energy bombs. Those energy bombs fell on the ground, causing a violent explosion immediately. After the energy bombs exploded, a powerful shock wave was immediately produced, and the clouds were instantly washed away. In an energy explosion, those energies form an energy vortex. In the center of that energy vortex, a small silver light of energy is rapidly dimming. The energy supply of that small silver flying saucer is dropping sharply. Around the energy vortex, a group of small silver flying saucers hovered around the vortex, trying to find a breakthrough. These small silver flying saucers are all flying saucers that can travel through time and space. Seeing this scene, Su Yan immediately issued an order. All fighters should immediately enter the energy vortex. The fighter planes of the Hyperion all entered the energy vortex, and after entering the energy vortex, these fighter planes disappeared. Those small silver flying saucers lingered on the edge of the energy vortex for a while, but didn't find any abnormalities, and then retreated one after another. On the Hyperion, the modified main gun also recovered its energy. An energy cannon was fired, attacking those small silver flying saucers. The energy cannon this time is more powerful than the energy cannon just now. The terrifying shock wave produced by the energy cannon instantly destroyed some small silver flying saucers. Seeing this scene, Su Yan on the Hyperion could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. Just now, Su Fuke was worried that these small silver flying saucers would catch up. Fortunately, the silver flying saucer did not follow. The Hyperion continued to sail forward, and soon after, all the main guns on the Hyperion began to recover their energy and started a counterattack. This time, all the main guns on the Hyperion were activated, and more energy was consumed. The fighter planes on the Hu-173 Berlin are all old stuff that used to be in space. Now that the energy reservoir has recovered its energy, it can be used again. In just a few minutes, the Hyperion fired 3 times in a row, a total of 20 energy shells, hitting those silver flying saucers at the same time. More than half of those silver flying saucers were lost in an instant. They are still not reconciled and continue to launch energy attacks on the Hyperion. The Hyperion's defense is really too powerful. The energy bomb attack of these small silver flying saucers can't hurt the Hyperion at all. The fighter planes on the Hyperion also kept attacking those small silver flying saucers. The Hyperion was thrown towards the planet again. On the Hyperion, Su Yan observed the planet for a long time, and then ordered the Hyperion to stay there, waiting for other ships to exhaust the energy of the planet. Not long after, warships came to the sky above the planet one after another, and they all started to launch energy attacks on those small silver flying saucers. Those silver flying saucers also avoided the attacks of those warships one after another. On the Hyperion, Su Yan kept mobilizing ships over. The number of those small silver flying saucers is very large. Su Yan estimates that even if tens of thousands of warships come to this planet, they may not be able to defeat these small silver flying saucers. Therefore, it is better to let these warships consume the energy of these small silver flying saucers first. The Hyperion has a large number of mechanical weapons, and has begun to use them. There are also a large number of fighter planes intercepting the Hyperion, constantly attacking the small silver flying saucer. The small silver flying saucers kept hiding, but they were finally intercepted by the Hyperion. Su Yan ordered the Hyperion to continue attacking the small silver flying saucers, and keep destroying those small silver flying saucers. These small silver flying saucers hid on the Hyperion for a long time, and finally opened a door on the Hyperion, and when the door opened, a huge metal fortress appeared. The metal fortress, like a city, has many buildings. Those buildings are covered with energy turrets, and those energy turrets are all made of some metal. Su Yan also used energy scanning to see the energy fortresses on those buildings, and then he realized that those metal fortresses were actually made of metal materials. Under the energy bombardment of the Hyperion, those metals and steels quickly collapsed, turned into countless fragments, and then scattered on the entire planet. The damage caused by these energy cannons to those small silver flying saucers is actually not that great. All the fighter planes on the Hyperion were firing energy cannons, constantly bombarding those small silver flying saucers. Although those energy cannons missed these small flying saucers, they were able to consume the energy of those small flying saucers. The energy consumption of those small flying saucers was too serious. They did not dare to take the risk of staying on the Hyperion, and left the Hyperion one after another, fleeing to other planets. However, there are many Thor cannons and other weapons on the Hyperion, and these weapons can easily launch a fatal attack on those small flying saucers, destroying those small silver flying saucers time and time again. The Hyperion's attack not only has an effect on those small flying saucers, it also has an effect on those warships. The battleships were sunk one after another by the Hyperion's energy cannon. They all escaped. The energy cannon of the Hyperion can only last for about 15 minutes. Now the 15 minutes are about to pass. Su Yan let the Hyperion continue to sail forward, trying to reach the destination as soon as possible. The speed on the Hyperion is very slow. After all, the speed of this universe is too fast. No matter how fast the Hyperion sails, it still takes a lot of time to reach the target. The silver small flying saucer will be more difficult to deal with. The Hyperion kept firing energy cannons, attacking those small silver flying saucers again and again, preventing them from escaping. The speed of the Hyperion is very slow, but Su Yan's control is still very stable. He controlled the Hyperion and continued sailing. At this time, they encountered a group of humans, and these humans were also the ones Su Yan arranged to intercept those small silver flying saucers outside. These people came from other planets. Their combat effectiveness is not weak, and these people are also equipped with many fighters. The weapons and equipment on these fighter planes are very sophisticated, and there are many battleships, firing energy cannons non-stop, bombarding those small silver flying saucers. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion, and continued to approach the Yumpan metal fortress. The Hyperion stopped in front of the metal fortress. That metal fortress is the biggest target of those silver flying saucers. They will never give up on this goal and continue to pursue 3.2. So Su Yan and the others just need to wait, and then wait until the metal fortress is close to the Hyperion. Then they will if it is destroyed. Those silver flying saucers will naturally retreat. Su Yan was not in a hurry to leave the metal fortress either. Therefore, Su Yan and the others just need to wait. Su Yan asked those people to start building fortifications on the Hyperion, preparing to prevent those small silver flying saucers from attacking the Hyperion again. In front of the Hyperion, many fortifications have been established, and then many energy defense shields have been arranged on those fortifications. Although a large part of this planet has been destroyed, there are still many energy ores on the remaining planets. Su Yan ordered the Hyperion to collect all the energy ores. These energy ores will come in handy to launch an attack on those silver flying saucers, and carry out a tragic massacre on the silver flying saucers. The Hyperion began to transport those energy ores, and delivered them to the interior of the Hyperion for use by the fleet. Those energy ores can increase the fleet's energy reserves. However, the quantity of those energy ores is also limited. Every time more than 100 billion tons of energy ore is transported, there will be extremely high consumption. That kind of energy ore is also easy to explode. Therefore, it can only be used on the way of transporting energy ore, not in battle. These energy ores also need to be stored. If the delivery is not timely, it will explode directly. In that case, the Hyperion may be backlashed by the energy ore, and suffer heavy losses. Su Yan looked at the metal fortress in the distance, and he could feel the tyrannical pressure of that metal fortress from that metal fortress. The energy fluctuations on the 23 energy or ships were also extremely powerful. The metal fortress should be the command module of the small silver flying saucer, and the main body of the command module is the metal fortress. The main body of the metal fortress is 100 meters long, even bigger than the Hyperion, with many strange runes on it. These runes are combined into patterns, and there are many energy barriers on them. The battleship of the Hyperion is equipped with a large number of laser guns, a large number of laser cannons, rocket launchers and other offensive weapons, but for that metal fortress. However, although the laser cannons and rockets of the Hyperion were unable to do anything to the metal fortress, but the energy fluctuations of those energy ores can be transmitted to the metal fortress. While the energy fluctuations of this metal fortress are spreading, the Hyperion will launch an energy attack, regardless of whether the metal fortress will be affected or not. As long as the metal fortress is affected in the slightest, it will be attacked by energy ores. As a result, the energy ore exploded, which means despising the enemy strategically, and paying attention to the enemy tactically. I don't know if this method will work, but there is no harm in trying, even if the metal fortress is really fine. As long as the energy fluctuation of the metal fortress is attacked by the energy of the Hyperion, then the metal fortress will have great shocks, and even cracks will appear. This causes the energy ore to explode. In that case, those silver flying saucers can take advantage of the opportunity to break through the protective net of the metal fortress and enter this planet. At that time, the Hyperion will be in danger. The Hyperion stopped near the metal fortress, but Su Yan didn't make any moves. He was standing on the Hyperion, quietly waiting for those small silver flying saucers to enter the attack range of the Hyperion. Not long after, those small silver flying saucers finally rushed in front of the Hyperion, and began to attack the Hyperion fiercely. One after another, small silver flying saucers crazily rushed towards Hyperion from the air. There are thick metal tubes on these small silver flying saucers. Bunches of laser beams spewed out from those tubes, flying towards the Hyperion, densely packed, and quite a few. These laser beams did not cause any damage to the Hyperion. It's just that one tiny hole after another was left on the energy barrier of the Hyperion. The Hyperion just suffered some energy shocks, and then the energy barrier returned to normal, and the Hyperion was not damaged at all. The attacks of those small flying saucers have no way to penetrate the energy barrier of the Hyperion, so the Hyperion only suffered the attacks of some small flying saucers, and was not damaged. Boom. The Hyperion also fired at those small flying saucers. A mass of flames jetted out from the Hyperion, and the flames flooded the entire planet in an instant. That small spark directly devoured the two small flying saucers. The energy shells on the Hyperion are actually not as powerful as imagined. They are just a little stronger than ordinary energy shells. However, the energy cannon of the Hyperion can pose a threat to ordinary small flying saucers. After the Hyperion opened fire, the number of those silver flying saucers suddenly decreased, and there was also a reduction in personnel. The Hyperion continued to fire, and the Hyperion activated 3 energy turrets. Those silver flying saucers had nowhere to hide, and suffered heavy losses in an instant. Those small flying saucers were knocked to the ground and exploded. And above the metal fortress, a silver flying saucer flew out suddenly, and then set up a defense system around the metal fortress. It seems that the metal fortress has wisdom, Su Yan said with a smile. However, this will not trouble me. In this battle, the Hyperion will have an absolute advantage. The Hyperion has a large number of forts. In this battle, the Hyperion will have an absolute advantage. It only needs to fire all the energy cannons on the Hyperion, and by then, the metal fortress will definitely be unable to resist. The battleships on the Hyperion are also constructed of various turrets. The attack is effective. It only needs one attack to defeat the metal defense system on the 277th base of the metal fortress, making it impossible to stop. Su Yan had thought of this situation a long time ago, so he was very satisfied with the performance of the Hyperion. Su Yan watched the Hyperion continue to fire energy cannons one after another, destroying pieces of metal flying saucers. Su Yan also breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that this method is quite effective. Su Yan looked around again, and found that the silver flying saucers showed no signs of retreating. So he said, "It seems that those silver flying saucers will not only not back down, but also plan to continue attacking us. I don't know what they think, do they? Not afraid to attract the attention of Metal Fortress. Their target this time is the energy ore on the Metal Fortress. Since those silver flying saucers want to attack, they will naturally attack the energy ore on the Metal Fortress. If these silver flying saucers were killed by the Metal Fortress, isn't that a waste of those energy ores? These silver flying saucers are extremely valuable." Thinking about it, Su Yan thought to himself, "It seems that these silver flying saucers will not give up until they achieve their goals." At this moment, a loud roar came from the energy shield of the Metal Fortress. "Which bastard dared to attack our spaceship?" Hearing this roar, the people on the Hyperion were immediately surprised. "It's those damned humans. It's those humans who are messing up. They're the ones who sabotage our plans. We're going to kill them. That's right. We must exterminate those humans and kill them all." The soldiers on the Metal Fortress were clamoring, "These bastards." Su Yan was also a little annoyed when he heard the soldiers shouting and cursing. The soldiers in the Metal Fortress were simply too arrogant. The Hyperion can be said to be the only thing they can rely on. The weapons on the Hyperion are extremely powerful, and should be more than enough to deal with those small flying saucers. But now those small flying saucers dare to attack them. Those small flying saucers can be said to be a group of rabble, but these rabble are also a very powerful existence, especially on this Metal Fortress. The technological level of these small flying saucers has far surpassed the cultivation civilization, and they can control the Metal Fortress and launch small missiles one after another. In this way, the battle on the Metal Fortress became even more difficult. Those small flying saucers can easily destroy their turrets and invalidate their energy defense systems. Without the protection of the energy shield, the Hyperion would be really dangerous. Although the Hyperion is powerful, it has no energy after all. These silver flying saucers can attack the Hyperion unscrupulously, causing heavy losses to the turrets on the Hyperion. Su Yan looked at the actions of those metal flying saucers in the distance, and frowned. He thought to himself, no wonder the energy consumption on the Hyperion was so fast. It turned out that those silver flying saucers were causing trouble. The war weapon of the Hyperion is a series of artillery. Although those cannons are not as powerful as the energy cannons with metal structures like the Metal Fortress, they can easily smash the energy defense system of the Vault Fortress. The metal defense system on this Metal Fortress is more than one on this Metal Fortress. There are many other Metal Fortresses that use the same energy defense system as energy to supply the Metal Fortress. Even if the Hyperion can destroy the energy defense systems on other Metal Fortresses, it will lose some energy. This is the impact of the metal defense systems on the Metal Fortresses. Now the energy reserve on the Hyperion is less than 30%. If the Hyperion loses some more energy, then the Hyperion will really be doomed. Now Su Yan can't care about the Hyperion's energy reserves anymore. The main task now is to destroy the metal defense system on the Metal Fortress. Su Yan doesn't care about energy consumption as long as he can defeat those silver flying saucers and replenish enough energy on the Hyperion. He naturally doesn't need to worry about insufficient energy reserves. Turn immediately, attack the Metal Fortress, and knock down those metal flying saucers. Su Yan also didn't want to wait for the energy on the Hyperion to be replenished, which would allow the energy system on the Metal Fortress to resume normal operation. When the time comes, the weapons on the Metal Fortress will launch an attack on the Hyperion. Therefore, the best way now is to quickly destroy the energy defense system on the Metal Fortress. The energy cannon on the Hyperion aimed at the energy defense system of the Metal Fortress and began to attack frantically. The tactics of those small flying saucers are almost exactly the same as the battle on the Metal Fort that Su Yan encountered before. It's just that those small flying saucers can only attack the Metal Fortress, when they are close to the metal fortress. The Hyperion does not need to do that. The Hyperion only needs to launch a violent attack on the metal fortress, completely scrapping the energy defense system on the metal fortress. The energy defense system on the Hyperion is a huge monster, and it cannot be attacked by those small flying saucers. Those defensive energy shields on the metal fortress can also defend against energy cannon attacks. On the Hyperion, those small flying saucers have no way to get close at all, and can only fire energy cannons from a long distance. However, in the space around the metal fortress, the energy cannon can't be released. In this way, those small flying saucers have no energy, and the attack speed of the energy cannon is also limited, making it impossible to damage the combat units on the metal fortress. Now the small flying saucer on the Hyperion can only attack from the periphery, and there is no way to get close to the metal fortress. Unless you can get close to the metal fortress, and then place bombs on it, the metal fortress can be brought to the brink of destruction. However, the energy defense system on the metal fortress is very powerful. Even if the energy cannon on the Hyperion can destroy the defensive energy cover, it can only penetrate a little bit, and cannot completely destroy the defensive energy cover. The energy defense system on the metal fortress can continuously absorb energy supplements. Therefore, the attacks on these small flying saucers are useless at all, and they can't even destroy a little bit of defense. Rumble. Above the metal fortress, there were bursts of explosions. One shell after another was hit, and then a violent explosion occurred. The energy cannons of those small flying saucers can't cause substantial damage to the metal fortress at all. This made Su Yan very depressed. How could this happen? Why is that metal fortress so powerful? Did our plan fail? Su Yan frowned and couldn't help thinking. The energy defense system on the metal fortress is really powerful, even he can't break through it. This also made him very regretful. If he knew it, he should have sent the Legion over earlier, instead of letting those small flying saucers come over to attack. However, at this moment, Su Yan suddenly felt that there seemed to be something wrong with that metal fortress. Su Yan sensed it carefully, and suddenly a surprised expression appeared on his face. There are many metal weapons hidden in this metal fortress, and Su Yan found a strange place in the metal fortress. That is the energy defense cover inside the metal fortress. The defensive cover of the metal fortress is a spherical structure. This spherical energy shield actually has a self-recovery function, and can absorb surrounding energy. Let the energy in the metal fortress not be lost, and be able to absorb the surrounding energy to replenish itself. What does it mean? This spherical energy shield is a kind of self-healing technical committee. However, this kind of self-healing technology seems to have never been heard of in the universe. No matter how much Su Yan researches, he doesn't know what kind of restoration technique this is. Su Yan also didn't understand which star field's restoration technology this was. This made Su Yan feel that this should be an extremely advanced technology. Thinking of this, Su Yan suddenly thought, where did the energy cannons of those small flying saucers come from? Could this be the energy cannons from those starships? Thinking of this, Su Chi couldn't help but turn pale. Are the energy cannons on those small flying saucers taken from the starships? Impossible. The scientific and technological level of the interstellar warship, it is absolutely impossible to develop such an energy cannon. It is impossible for those warships to transport energy cannons to the metal fortress, right? The defense system of the metal fortress cannot be cracked even by spaceships of interstellar battleships. How can the flying saucers in those interstellar battleships crack the defense system of the metal fortress? Su Yan kept shaking his head. Thinking of this, he felt puzzled again. Where did he make a mistake? At this time, the small flying saucer on the Hyperion had already spotted the ship Su Yan. We have already found 783 metal fortress. This time, I must destroy this metal fortress. A small flying saucer commander laughed. That's right, destroy the metal fortress. Another small flying saucer commander also echoed. As soon as their words fell, a shell flew towards the deck of Su Yan's ship, and then bombarded the deck, and the glass on the deck instantly shattered. The cannonball exploded, setting off a terrifying shock wave, and blowing away everyone around. Not good. This is a super energy bomb launched by a small flying saucer. It is too powerful. Run away. Seeing this scene, Su Yan shouted, escape. Did you escape? This metal fortress belongs to the Metal City State. We destroyed the metal fortress. People from the Metal City State will definitely find it. Those warships will definitely not sit idly by, and will also send warships to help the metal fortress. At that time, we will all die here. That's right. This is the territory of the Metal City State, and they will definitely not watch us destroy the metal fortress. So what should I do now? Kill him. As long as he is killed, the people from those battleships will definitely help kill him. Everyone shouted. I rely on. Seeing so many people around, Su Yan was very angry. If this continues, there will definitely be more and more shells on this small flying saucer. At this moment, Su Yan suddenly thought of a way. He immediately let the small flying saucer on the Hyperion start to turn. Seeing this scene, the group of small flying saucers froze. Why do they want to transfer? There must be many treasures hidden in these metal fortresses. Wouldn't it be a disadvantage for us to leave here like this? A commander of a small flying saucer asked suspiciously. No, they don't want to escape. They want to escape from the metal fortress, because they know that there must be many treasures hidden inside. So they don't plan to continue attacking us. We quickly follow them, and when they don't pay attention, we will destroy that metal fortress. Yes, let's follow. As a result, the group of small flying saucers immediately caught up with the speed of the Hyperion, and flew forward following the metal fortress. Ha ha! Catch up! The commanders of this group of flying saucers all cried out excitedly. In doing so, they were able to avenge their revenge. In their eyes, people like Su Yan have become their enemies, and they can't wait to tear Su Yan to pieces. On the Hyperion not far from them, at this time, Su Yan's complexion has changed. He knew that they had been followed by each other. These bastards, Dad, dare to follow us. Are they showing off their heads? Su Yan cursed angrily. Must escape first, Su Yan said, and then immediately controlled the Hyperion, and quickly flew towards the distance. At this time, Su Yan and the others were on the Hyperion. Suddenly, there were two violent noises, and then all the glass on the Hyperion shattered. What's going on here? Su Yan looked forward, only to see a frightening force rushing in from the air in front of him. This force was very violent, as if it wanted to destroy Su Yan's entire ship. What's going on here? This force seems to tear the Hyperion apart. Su Yan was taken aback, although the Hyperion was not too powerful. After all, it is his main battle equipment. If it is directly destroyed by this force, his loss will be quite a lot. No, this force must be prevented from coming in. Su Yan immediately controlled the Hyperion's engine, and turned on the maximum power, trying to block this force. At the same time, Su Yan's spiritual consciousness also began to spread out, trying to find the source of this power, and then find the source of this power. Unfortunately, that power is so powerful that even Su Yan couldn't find its existence at all. Su Yan only felt the sheer size of this force, but he didn't feel the source of this force, so he didn't know how to deal with this force emperor at all. Fortunately, this huge force finally disappeared after raging on the Hyperion for a while. Su Yan breathed a sigh of relief. This force finally disappeared. Calm was restored. What's the situation? Why can't I feel the existence of this force? Su Yan frowned. He couldn't believe that such power disappeared inexplicably. He always felt that this power had not disappeared. However, Su Yan searched the Hyperion carefully, but did not find that mysterious power. However, Su Yan did not give up, and after trying several times, Su Yan finally confirmed that he did not feel wrong, and that power really disappeared just like that. What the hell is it? Su Yan couldn't figure it out. Where did this power come from? Is it a metal fortress? Suddenly, such an idea popped up in Su Yan's mind. If the metal fortress really has such a powerful attack power, then it cannot be resisted at all. And if it is not the metal fortress, whose power would it be? The engine of the Hyperion was strong enough, but there was no response just now. If it was this kind of engine, the Hyperion would have been blown to pieces long ago.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.